Chapter 7. Holding Her Breath. When you pass through the waters, I will be with you, and when you pass through the rivers, they will not sweep over you. Isaiah 43, verse 2. A couple of days passed. Ruthie lingered mostly at the cottage, keeping her world small. Some days she shared lunch with James on the porch. Sometimes she helped with odd jobs, Bear padding after her like a shadow she could almost trust. The fear, though, didn't lift. If anything, the nightmares clawed deeper. The flashbacks grew more vivid, old bruises surfacing in dreams, dread seeping into the edges of every quiet moment. Then the day came. James was driving her back to the city to collect her things. James said nothing on the way into the city. The ute rolled softly over gravel, carrying them into the heart of Ruthie's dread. She sat folded in on herself, arms crossed tight. She watched the rearview mirror obsessively. Every car behind them a threat. Every white sedan a ghost she couldn't shake. James didn't press, didn't ask what they were collecting or why. He just drove, one hand loose on the wheel, the other steady. Bear sat upright in the tray, his fur whipped by the wind, body rigid with attention, almost like he understood how much Ruthie needed a sentry. About halfway there, Ruthie finally spoke, voice flat and trembling.
"He should be at work now,"
she said.
"I still have a key, so I should be able to get in and out quickly."
James nodded, not needing to say more. The city closed in around them. Suburbs thickened. Old memories pressed in, thickening the air. Ruthie pressed her palm to the glass, feeling herself shrink with every block. She realized she was holding her breath and let it out in a ragged, shaky exhale. James glanced at her, the worry plain, but didn't push.
"You want me to do a drive-by first, just in case his car's there?"
She nodded once, jaw clenched. James followed her directions, creeping past the street with practiced nonchalance. The driveway was empty, no white sedan, only a tipped-over bin and a recycling crate stuffed with old boxes. He circled the block once more, slowly. Then he stopped across the road from the house, engine idling. Ruthie reached for the door, every muscle screaming to run.
"Hey, Ruthie, before you go."
James said. She paused halfway out the car door.
"I will give you 10 minutes.
He said.
If you're not back, Bear and I are coming in after you, all right?"
She nodded, throat tight.
10 minutes will be enough.
Bear watched her go, ears perked, body low in the tray, as if ready to leap after her. She crossed the street as if every step was a test of the ground's loyalty. Not fast, not slow, just wound tight. She scanned every window, every car, each shadow. When she reached the door, her hand shook as she slid the key in. The lock caught, then clicked. The smell hit her before the memories. Dust, stale takeaway, that cold tang of pine cleaner over old mistakes. Inside, the front room looked mostly unchanged. A pair of boots by the door. Dylan's jacket was slung over a chair. She crept through the hall, heart battering her ribs. But when she looked for her things, her bag, her clothes, even her worn slippers, they were gone. She opened drawers and cupboards with rising panic, each room emptier than the last. Her breathing sped. No photos, no notebooks, no little treasures tucked away. Nothing. She ran to the backyard, hope burning in her throat. That's when she saw it. A scorched heap of her things, blackened by flames, the unmistakable stench of smoke still clinging to the air. Dylan had burned them. Something inside Ruthie snapped. Rage boiled up, wild and useless. She hurled the empty laundry basket across the yard, tears streaming down her face. She stormed back inside, slamming doors, sobbing, yelling wordless sounds of loss and betrayal. James, hearing the commotion, moved with purpose across the street. He didn't know what he'd find, but he didn't hesitate. He stepped through the door to find Ruthie collapsed in a corner of the hallway, shaking and broken, fists pressed to her mouth to muffle the sound. She didn't look up. He crouched beside her, not touching, just sharing the space.
What happened?
He asked, voice gentle. Ruthie tried to speak, but it came out as a sob. She pointed back at the backyard, where the remnants of her life smoldered in a black pile.
He burned it. All of it. Everything that was mine. Gone.
James closed his eyes for a moment, fury tightening his jaw. He stayed silent, letting her cry it out. Then, slowly, he asked.
Is there anything left to save?
She shrugged, eyes distant.
A few things, maybe. I haven't looked everywhere yet.
James met her gaze gently.
Then let's look. We'll find what we can, together.
Together they searched the house, moving with purpose. They found a battered duffel bag with a change of clothes, some faded paperwork, and a photo that had slipped behind a dresser. Ruthie stuffed it all into the small bag, hands shaking so hard she could barely zip it shut. James carried her bag outside, wordless, holding the door open as she passed. Back at the ute, Ruthie all but collapsed into the seat, dropping her bag at her feet. She buckled her seatbelt, fingers trembling on the latch, unable to stop shaking. Eyes forward, but she wasn't seeing anything. James got in, started the engine, and pulled away from the curb. They drove in silence for several blocks, neither able to speak over the grief and anger buzzing in the cab. The city slid away behind them. Only the sound of the road filled the air. At a red light on the edge of the city, the ute eased to a stop. Outside, the faint hum of traffic pulsed in the distance, but inside the cab, the silence pressed in. Heavy, full of everything neither of them had dared to say. Then, finally, James spoke.
Hey, Ruthie, I just want to check. If you want to go back to the cottage,
He asked, voice even.
or is there somewhere else you need me to take you?
Ruthie didn't answer, not because she didn't know, but because saying it out loud felt too vulnerable, too raw, too exposing. There was nowhere else, not anymore. Dylan had burned what little she had left, her things, her plans, her pride. The illusion of having options had gone up in smoke with that heap of ash. James waited, eyes steady on the road ahead. He didn't press, didn't shift uncomfortably or fill the space with empty words. He just waited. The light turned green. Without a word, he turned the ute toward the edge of town.
I'll head home.
He said quietly.
But if you change your mind, just tell me where to go.
Ruthie let out a breath she hadn't even realized she'd been holding. A long, shuddering exhale that trembled at the edges. Her shoulders softened, the coil of tension loosening just enough to let air back in. She kept her gaze on the window, watching the city give way to open fields, the landscape washing past in streaks of green and gold. James didn't say anything, but he noticed. The way her posture shifted, the way something within her eased, just slightly. It wasn't everything, but it was something, and for now that was enough.
Thank you for listening to this chapter of Healing on the Land. If this story has touched your heart, I'd love for you to come join me for the next chapter. You can find it here on this channel. If you'd like to support more Christian storytelling, you can purchase the full book or make a donation using the link in the description. Your support, no matter the size, helps us to continue writing stories of faith, healing, and hope. And don't forget to like this video and subscribe to this channel. May God bless you, and I hope you have a lovely rest of your day.